Hey guys, it's Victoria. So I have a question for you all today. Have you ever been asked to repeat yourself, even if you were quite confident that you articulated each and every word very clearly? Well, that, my friends, is the topic of today's video. The extreme importance of sentence stress when trying to effectively communicate your message in English. So today I'm going to talk about a few of the basic concepts with you that I want you to understand, and then we're going to really get into analyzing a simple sentence and all the different meanings that can come from that sentence when we change the stress. So the first thing that you guys need to understand is that English is what's called a stress-timed language. And that is really, really important because what it means is that within an English sentence, certain words are going to be stressed, and those words are going to sound a lot more acoustically interesting. So we actually show stress in an English sentence by playing around with three variables, and those are length, pitch, and loudness. Now, depending on the type of sentence that you're saying, the situation, the emotions involved, you might use a little bit more of one and a little bit less of another one, and you're able to play with these as you see fit. Obviously, those are really tricky variables to measure, so a really important part is to really start listening, for these variables individually, so really trying to tease out, okay, this word sounds interesting in this sentence, but what about it sounds interesting? And once your brain is able to help you out by telling you, oh, well, it sounded interesting because the pitch was really high. Oh, this one, the pitch was pretty flat, but the length got really loud. Once your brain is able to start doing that for you, this process becomes much easier, and eventually it becomes intuitive, which is obviously the outcome that we want for you to generalize and use this in your actual speech. The other thing you guys need to know is because we're choosing to make certain words more interesting, we have to somehow balance our sentence. So to compensate for that, we also have to make certain words less interesting. So we make words less interesting by making them shorter, with no interesting pitch variation, and by making them a really short, boring, neutral schwa vowel. Now, the really tricky thing about this topic, you guys, is that there is not one right answer. There's a right answer for the context. So that depends on who you're talking to and what they know about you, and the movie you just watched together, or the newscast you both just listened to, or the fact that you know each other really, really well, or the fact that you're total strangers, or the fact that you're both in a dentist's office and you both saw the same nurse walk by. Whatever. You guys get that there are 1,000,001 options that dictate your context. So that's something you really need to become aware of and start thinking about. What's our shared context? Now, I know that at least some of you are thinking, are there any rules? And kind of, there are sort of rules, but the truth is they're not always very logical or even intuitive. So if I could truly give you the best rule, you're probably not really gonna like this rule, but the rule would be, it depends. So here is what I want you to think about. I'll break it down a little bit more than that, but that's really the truth. So I want you to put yourself into a context. So I want you to think, okay, in the context that this utterance is being spoken, what's going on? Who, what, when, where, how, why? I want you to analyze all these variables and have them in the back of your mind. From there are two questions that you can ask yourselves. The first is, what here is new, exciting information that is being added to the conversation versus what's like totally boring and old news? The second thing I want you to consider is this idea of contrastive stress, meaning, are we using a bigger stress than usual because we want to clarify something, or perhaps because we're disagreeing with something? So we're going to be going over an example in just a second because I really think that that's how you guys are going to best understand these concepts. But first, I just wanted to say that each and every sentence in English is gonna have a word that is stressed, at least one word. So you can't have a flat sentence where like one word doesn't stand out more than the others. It's just an impossibility. And another thing that I want you guys to know and to be thinking about is that a sentence can be really, really long, right? So I don't necessarily want you thinking about where's the strongest word in the sentence, because what if you happen to pick the longest sentence that exists in the English language? That would be really confusing. So instead, I want you guys to be thinking about individual thought groups. So if you have a natural pause somewhere in your sentence, that's the chunk that I want you to analyze for stress. Now, I personally tend to call the primary stressed word in a sentence the winner. I don't know how or when I actually came up with that, but I use it a lot and it's really stuck. So if I'm talking about the winner, that's what I mean. So now guys, let's look at an example sentence. When I read the sentence, I want you guys to be thinking about what context would this sentence have made sense in. And you'll see that depending on the word I choose, there's an entirely different message being sent to my listener. So first, I'm just going to tell you what the words of my sentence are going to be. So we have, Mike is coming over soon. So that was word, 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 word. Even if I was to put those close together, that would not sound like a natural sentence in English if I said, Mike is coming over soon. Even though my articulation, right, was A-okay. So I was trying to read with totally no stress. It sounded pretty robotic. So now I'm going to say something different, and I want you guys to think about what that would mean about the context. All right, so what if I said, Mike's coming over soon? Mike's coming over soon. There's your shout out, Michael. So first, I want you to tell me, what is my winner? What's the winner of my sentence? Mike's coming over soon. I'm trying not to overdo it on purpose because in real life, you guys, no one is gonna slow down or do anything more exaggerated. So you really need to try to hear it in real conversational speech. I'll tell you what the answer is, but if you have no idea why or how I did that, I want you to go back a few seconds and listen to it again until your brain says, okay, that makes sense, I get it. So my winner in this case was the word Mike. Mike's coming over soon. Mike's coming over soon. Notice I'm subtly changing the pitch and the length of Mike's coming over soon. So if you still don't hear that after listening to it again, a trick you can use is to go into your YouTube settings and slow down the playback speed. So you can either try it at 50% or at 75%, and you'll notice that that makes this exercise much, much easier. If you're not sure how to do that, you can just search it on YouTube. But for me, I have a Mac and it shows up right in my settings without having to do anything. Okay, so now let's talk about what that implies about our context when we say, Mike's coming over soon. So it would probably be something like, your friend just got off the phone with someone. You don't know who someone is. And so your friend says, Mike's coming over soon. So the interesting part of that sentence is who is coming over soon? Mike's coming over soon. Does that make sense? So now let's compare it to if I said, Mike's coming over soon. Mike's coming over soon. What is the strongest, most interesting word in my sentence? Over. Mike's coming over soon. Mike's coming over soon. So, what does that tell us about our context? When would this sentence have been appropriate? Mike's coming over soon could have worked if, let's say your friend receives a phone call and before they answer, they say, oh, it's Mike calling. So you know it's Mike. So then when they get off the phone, they say, Mike's coming over soon. That just means we know that it was Mike. That's old news. So Mike doesn't win your sentence, The fact that he's coming over soon does. Let's try another one. Mike's coming over soon. What is the winning word? Mike's coming over soon. So the winning word is coming. Now, what would this tell us about our context? It's a trick. This wouldn't really tell us anything about our context because coming combines with the word over, and that's the phrasal verb come over. In a phrasal verb, come over wins the phrase. So even though the verb seems like it should be the winner, it's not, it's over. So to a native English speaker, Mike's coming over soon sounds very strange. So I can't personally think of like a natural common circumstance in which that would ever be used. How about this one? Mike's coming over soon. What is the winner? Mike's coming over soon. The winner in this one is soon. So what would that imply about the context? That would imply that I knew Mike was planning on coming over. So all of that is old news. The interesting part of this sentence would be that it's happening soon. Mike's coming over soon. He's not coming over in 5 hours. So let's look at the last one. What if I said, Mike is coming over soon? Mike is coming over soon. What is the winner? I know, process of elimination. There's only one left, but our winner is. Now, when and why would we say Mike is coming over soon? What does that tell us about our context? What it tells us is that we are really underlining that he is coming over soon. So that could either be to clarify to someone that yes, he definitely is coming over soon, or you could be in a small disagreement with someone. So let's say I said, Mike was gonna come by, but he's obviously not coming by because he said he'd be here at noon and now it's 6 p.m. So he's obviously not coming. And then my friend says, Mike is coming over soon. So that would imply to me that he knows something that I don't know. So we're arguing about the is or isn't, or we're disagreeing if you're not the argumentative type. So pretty amazing, right? A simple sentence with 5 words, and there were just so many different implications about the meaning based on what word was stressed. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys in seeing that sentence stress is king in effectively communicating your meaning in English. So if you like this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and please subscribe because I will be making lots more videos about sentence stress, intonation, all those fun topics in the coming weeks. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.